with light and love.
I'm a radiant being filled with light and love.
Hey, Annie, we're on. We
Are you
started.
fucking serious? You guys are just gonna fucking start the podcast without telling me? I'm doing my fucking morning affirmations.
Those I meet.
I'm bright and radiant, and I'm kind to all of those I meet. Anyway, hi Insannies. How's it going? Sometimes our lives are happy and sad at the same time. No, welcome back to Meanspiration. I'm here at All Things Comedy, talking shit. Now, it's Monday. It's been a crazy weekend. I had a couple things happen. I had my next door neighbor has her 15-year-old nephew staying with her. Now, I live in a building that looks like Melrose Place, so there's a pool in the middle. And then I have a big window. We all have these big windows facing each other. There's a single guy in his 40s across the pool from me who I think sells weed still. I don't know if you can still be a weed dealer at this point, but he's clinging to that one. And then next to him is this family. They have a 1-year-old son, and then their 15-year-old nephew is visiting. Now, they can't really see me that well. It's not like I'm across from them. But I came out to the pool. Everyone was kind of swimming during the day, and I realized I don't have curtains up yet. And someone said hello to me before I came out of my apartment. So I went, oh, can you guys see in here during the day? I thought they couldn't really see in during the day because of the light. I knew at night they could. And the woman who has the 15-year-old nephew goes, I can see everything, Annie. And I went, cool, Dyke. That's cool. I went, it's for you. But the thing is, she would have to lean over to see it. Like, she would have to lean, like she's trying to see me naked. And she goes, well, I have a 15-year-old here. And I'm like, you're welcome. I don't understand. I'm not his teacher. I don't understand what's bad about this in any way. I'm kind of in my prime. I look great. Let him learn that, what a woman looks like. Who cares? A woman with a boy's chest, Is it confusing for him? I don't know. He's got to look up what a hermaphrodite is, a transsexual. No, but it's just like, I don't know what she wants from me. I'm not going to buy curtains. Get a life. Do you want to buy me curtains, bitch? Anyway, I just thought that was funny that she has to look for it. Like the 15-year-old, I understand him leaning out to look. But her, it's like, what's up, girl? You want a fing? Come hang out with me. Anyway, I was just thinking about that. Like, I don't feel bad. I also don't care if they see me. It doesn't matter. They're in the pool. What's different about that? I'm in my underwear. Anyway, that's it. And do they follow me on stuff? Yeah. And are they going to see this? Yeah. And you know what? Now you know everything. You've seen my cervix, and now you've seen me talk shit on you. So here we are. All right, what else do I want to talk about? That was just on my mind, okay? What else? I had a weird set the other night. I had a really good set at the Comedy Store, and then I got real cocky, and I was like, yes. And then all day I listened to that set from the night before, and I went, I've cracked some issues. I figured out, like, now I have this perfect set. I know how to just crush for 15 minutes straight, just being myself and bubbling out of me. And then I did not have a good set the next night, and it's because I was obsessively trying to mimic what I had done the night before, and I wasn't in the moment. So we got to be in the moment, people. I hope you're not all comedians watching this, because that would be embarrassing. But we got to be in the moment. We can't be thinking about trying to replicate the shit we were doing before. Is that interesting?
It is for anyone who's a comedy fan.
It's weird. And then, you know what it is? I had a friend of mine from this restaurant I used to work at was there. Whenever there's a friend in town, it's impressive that I can get them in on these big shows and stuff, and they get to see my name on the wall. My name was on the marquee, and it was cool. And then I just went in, and I just wanted really badly to have the same set I had the night before, and I just didn't. And they still thanked me and DM'd me and everything.
You can't chase the dragon.
I chased the dragon. And the set was fine. It just was like, they were tired. And that's why I like to bring my sword on stage. Because I can smack it around and wake them up. Stab them a little, make them bleed. Anyway, my friend just got murdered. I probably shouldn't say stabbed. Our friend, Dave Kimowitz, just got killed. I don't know how to even... I just said stabbed. It's so sad. It's fucked up. His nanny's boyfriend killed him and his nanny. Anyway, he was a good dude. R.I.P. Dave. Very sad. It really did make me think. I cut some people out of my life after that because I'm like, I can't your time is precious. You never know when you're going to get killed by the nanny's boyfriend or hit by a car, or it's just, you can't waste time. You can't waste fucking time. You gotta do everything you want to do. This is depressing. Is everyone okay? Is anyone crying? I'm very upset. I was depressed. I left yoga class. I kept thinking about him, which was the plus of his murder. I got to leave yoga class, but it's just like, it's so bad. Like when Brody died, when someone commits suicide, it's so bad in a way. But when someone's murdered too, it's just these separate pains. Like it just hurts in different ways. You just get used to people and you think they're going to be around. And when someone kills themselves, you feel like a personal failure. Like you could have helped them or saved them. In this situation, like how the fuck did that happen? How did he end up hiring the one nanny with this crazy boyfriend? And why did this happen at this certain time? Like he had to come by at that time. And who knows? I don't know what the situation is behind it, but Dave was such a good dad and he loved his family. It's insane. Anyway, this is a comedy podcast. Everything's cool. We'll bring you back up to speed. Here's my set list from last night. Did you guys like it? Can you see it? Here's my set list from last night. Okay.
And you killed, right?
Yeah, I crushed. But we don't say that anymore because Ian Edwards told us not to say negative things about comedy, which I agree.
You had fun.
I had fun. You forget to have fun sometimes. You forget to have fun. When I'm thinking about how I want a special or I want to, crack a joke or there's certain things that I'm trying to figure out, I'm thinking about only the math of it and not the fun and the interaction. And that's not good. All right. I'm feeling really depressed and I'm going to just be honest and open about that. So I'm trying to just pull it together here and be fun. But I'm kind of sad.
Can we pull that mic a little closer?
I'll put the mic right here. Yeah, I'm kind of sad. So, and also a little bit still in shock and just really he was a lot of my friends' manager and just kind of feeling for my friends a lot right now. So anyway, let's get back. I'm selling merch on my podcast. Buy some merch, okay? Also, I showed you guys those pictures of those dicks. A while ago, I talked about this on my Instagram, but when you guys send me dick pics, I really don't like it. I don't want to see your dicks. I'm not interested in that. But if you feel like this urge where you have to send me a picture of a dick, draw the picture. Get your Crayola crayons out. Get your colored pencils out. Get your markers out. I want to see what do you call it? Not hatch tagging. What do you call it? I want to see shading and what's it called? Not perspective, but I want to see perspective, okay? I want to see your dick from a bird's eye view. I want to see different angles, lighting. I want you to treat your dick like it's a display of fruit and you're in Drawing 101. You're a freshman in college. I want to see art school dicks, okay? And what we'll do is we'll show them on the podcast. We'll pick our favorite one. I know some of you are listening to this, but we'll describe them. And cross-hatching. Anyway, it always comes back. ADD is a real joy and treat, and I'm sure it's fun for you guys too. But so we'll pick the best ones out of the contest, and you guys will get a free t-shirt, okay? Pretty cool. I think that's a pretty cool deal. Anyway, send that to the Meanspiration pod DMs. I want to do a segment called Ask Annie. I asked you guys just right before I came here to ask me some questions, and I'm going to answer them for you because I got nothing else. I'll remember the thing I wanted to say when I leave. All right. I'm going on my thing. All right.
I switched to this camera just so you know.
Oh, you did? Have I been looking at this one?
It's fine. No, I kept it on the other one.
Hi, everybody. I'm on this camera now. All right. Where the fuck did the questions come in? Sorry. Okay. All right. I love your reactions, like your expression answering if rather bang mom or dad on Prev Q&A. I don't know what that is and if that's a question. But someone asked me if I'd rather bang my mom or my dad, and I said my dad because he always makes me come. Someone said, can I see my feet? No, you can't see my feet. Enough with the feet. You're never going to see my feet. I told you what the answer is to that. If you have $1 million in quarters and you have to pay shipping and handling to send me that money, you could see my feet, but that's it. And then someone asked, roughly how many times have you been asked about your feet, which has caused you to blur your feet? Here's 1,000,000 times I've been asked about my feet. But you know what? I really only needed one person to ask me before I blurred them out. You guys are fucking weird. Why would you ask for an isolated body part? It sounds like you want me to chop my feet off and send them to you in a box. And for the right price, I would give you one. I do have 2 feet. I don't want to be greedy. Will you marry me? Absolutely not. Wait, let me look at you first. Let me see what you look like. You have, it says The Real Fat Man. That's your handle. You have a picture of a monkey as your profile pic, and you're private. And you only have 228 followers. Yes, I will marry you. You're my type. No, I don't want to. Thank you. Thank you so much.
In all seriousness, what's the limit for followers someone has to have where you'll consider marrying them?
The follower limit to marry them? You know, I was thinking about this because I just got back on dating sites, and I'm on this dating site called Raya that's like connects to your Instagram. And you can see how many followers people have. And it grosses me out when people have a lot of followers too, but I judge them when they don't have any. So there's really no answer. I think social media shouldn't come into it. I think social media is a weird thing. I usually date comics. I'm trying really hard to not date comics anymore just because I really have dated the ones I want to date. I can't even think of another one I'd want to date. But who knows? And no up and comers. Sorry, guys. Not going to happen. You have to be more successful than me. I've done that game, okay? I've fucked the open micers. I've Me Too'd a bunch of young male comics. I've used my power against them to make them come to my house and eat me out. I had one in my phone as the mouth for a while. But I don't do that anymore. You gotta fuck to the level of house you want to fuck in. Do you know what I mean? We can't just be fucking in our cars. Okay, and they don't even have a car. We can't fuck and then in my car and then he gets an Uber from my car back to his friend's couch. Do you know what I mean? I'm not into that anymore. You got to own a house and a car and all of that stuff. And I'm not trying to be shallow. I'm just grown up now. I just can't do it anymore. Got to up the pussy self-esteem. So I don't know about the followers. It's like and also the online dating's so gross. I don't fucking know you. I can't look at someone's picture and know if I like them. That's so weird. I need to smell the pheromones. I need to know what your fucking pits smell like. I need to know, like, if you're cool, if you're funny, if you have gay voice. Do you know how many times I've gone on a date with a guy who I think is like such a big, like, there was one guy I went on an internet date with who he was 6'3", and then he told me he was 6'2", which is like, that 1-inch lie does matter. That 1-inch lie does matter. And then he did end up only having a 1-inch dick. So I'm like, I think I found the inch. So he said he was into music. He was a music producer. So in my head, and the way he looked to me, he looked kind of like a wigger. And I'm going to say the word because there is no other word. Sorry. I'm from Philly. It's a very important genre in my life. And there's nothing else. So he was a wigger. In my head, he was this wigger. You know, he had like a flat brim hat in the picture. And I was assuming he was doing like hip hop. I just was psyched. I was excited. I lost my virginity on a waterbed. DMX was playing. Like, I don't know. My pussy has a type. So I got really excited about him. And I couldn't wait to meet this like tall wigger. And I decided to just meet him at his house. I didn't really know how this worked, okay? I just got out of a relationship. I thought you just go. I sent him some really dirty things, like I told him to ice bucket challenge his jizz and to glaze me like a donut. I was very horny. I got out of a not sexually satisfying relationship of 3 years. So I was like, finally, a wigger, a man. And I get to his apartment, and he didn't have his bike helmet on, but he may as well have. Like, his bike was like hanging on the wall, and it was just this very small apartment. He had his helmet right there, and it's like, I want you to be safe and I want you to wear a helmet, but I don't want to see your helmet ever. I don't want to be around you when you're wearing the helmet. I don't want the helmet near me. Your safety is drying up my pussy, okay? I would rather imagine you're skateboarding or you're riding your bike and, you know, you're doing tricks and stuff, and you may have a little, you may have scraped the pavement with your face a few times. You may have some fish swimming up there. I would rather have that. I would rather cauliflower ear than you not have CTE. Do you know what I mean? And I know that's horrible and that's something I'm growing out of, but my pussy likes danger. Okay, I used to hook up with a guy who was a BMX driver, a BMX bike rider or whatever, and he was so hot and he made me come the hardest of any guy I've ever fucked in my entire life. I did get bacterial vaginosis from his dirty dick, and also when he thought him trying to process words, you could see his brain working extra from all the concussions to try to form the words. And I'm telling you, I squirted. It was the best sex I've ever had. It was so good. I think about him all the time. Homeless Julian is what we called him, because he did have a house, but homeless is a state of mind. He had a monster truck with no... He took me our first date, which of course I fucked him on, and then we never had to go on a date again. He got a case of beer. This is when I lived in Santa Fe. And he picked me up in his monster truck. It had like the monster wheels and no doors. And he went, do you want to go romping? Which I don't know what that is or if that's a term anyone's ever used. But it was in New Mexico, so it's, it's a rocky desert. And so he picked me up and I put my seatbelt on and we just went like straight down into the arroyo. Like he just took me driving like straight down and back up and around. Then we drank beers and made out. It was fun. And then he fucked me real good and gave me bacterial vaginosis. And, in the end, did I tell another girl when he was at a bar talking to her that he gives BV? He's a dirty dick. Of course I did. Was he mad? I don't know. He's retarded. He has brain damage. What are you going to do? I have no clue if he was upset or not. Anyway. So I just got a text that said, "Hi, Scott," which is my dad's name, which it's a telemarketer and they're texting your dad because you're still in your family plan. Anyway, what's up? 36. How's it going? Family plan on my phone. Okay. So what was the question? What was I answering?
It was.
I want to keep telling this guy. Okay, wait. So then I go to this guy's house. He's got the bike helmet on. He's such a dork. He's eating cashews as a snack, raw cashews. I'm sorry. Get your cashews. I want a healthy man. I want a man that eats clean, but don't do it in front of my fucking face, okay? Give me the illusion you're eating chicken and waffles. Give me the illusion you don't have a helmet. Don't be just popping cashews in your mouth. Your dry snack. I don't want your dry nut snack around me. I'm trying to get wet. Anyway, so he had the cashews and then he was in classical music. Now that is such a far cry from what I thought it was. I thought he was going to be a hip hop producer. There was one guy I met on the internet who was a hip hop producer and he ended up getting married. We never hooked up, but it was like, I have this dream of him. Like I'm going to meet this guy. He was so hot. But I think there was only one, and he's the one that got away. He's got a nice Puerto Rican wife. I mean, I wasn't for him anyway. But so, he's classical music, and he's just got gay voice. You can't go ice bucket challenge in with these guys, jizz challenge bucket in with these guys, until you hear their voice, you smell them, and you see their helmet situation and their snack situation. So I'm in a shitty little apartment and I feel bad. And I'm going to tell you something. I no longer live my life like this. I no longer put the feelings of a stranger or another person above me. But at this point, this was the last time where I just felt so bad about rejecting this guy that I was like, I'm gonna hook up with him anyway. I'm at his apartment. The rejection would be so fierce. I came on so strong and I was like, I'm just going to take one for the team. I'm going to jerk him off. And so then he had a tiny dick and I was like, the tiny dick had nothing to do with this, but I was like, I don't think we should fuck, but it had nothing to do with his dick. And then he told me to suck him. He goes, suck me, which is really, really unhot. And I just had to use like this, like it was just so little. And there's nothing wrong. Little dicks are fine, guys. Don't go shoot up a bank. It's okay. It's all good. You can do anal. You're fine. It's just everything about this guy was a disappointment. And so we hooked up and then I was like, I'm never going to see that guy again. And then I block him on everything except Snapchat. And then I realize he sent me a snap and I don't want to open it. So I wait a day and then I open it and he sent me a picture of my watch. Okay. I left my gold watch at his house. Okay. It was not that expensive. It was like $150 watch, but I still like that watch. And I was like, you know what? In my head, I was like, I'll just buy another watch. I'll respect myself enough to just block this guy out of my life. And then I'll just buy myself another watch. I don't need to see this person again. Then he sent a follow-up snap of $200 in cash that had fallen out of my pocket. So I had left the watch and the money to rebuy the watch. So then I was like, fuck. So then I went to the Stand, R.I.P. Dave Kimowitz, went to the Stand and comedy club in New York. And I was like, fuck, I left all my shit at this guy's house. This was so gross. I'm so disgusted. I don't ever want to see this guy again. I jerked his little tiny dick off. Like, it was so nasty. And, also while he was eating me out, I told him my friends were in a fight. And I texted my friend who had been like hitting on me, dirty stuff. I was like, this guy's eating me out. He's so gross. I need you to just text me dirty things so I can try to come. And this was the one and only time I ever faked an orgasm. And also I'm going to sound like a whore in this situation, but I really don't care. This was like, I just got out of a relationship. You get like a 1 week window to be a super whore. And now I'm not, okay? I fuck for love, okay? I fuck to fertilize eggs now. That's not true either. But anyway, so I ended up faking an orgasm for one other time I did that because this guy kept fingering me and it hurt. He was like hurting me. So I had to fake an orgasm then too. But I faked and then I left my watch and shit. And then that friend Ubered me to his house and then banged me out. That was pretty fun. So then the next day I go to the Stand and I'm freaking out about this guy. I'm like, this sucks. It was so gross. I left all my shit. I don't want to get it. So then Louis J. Gomez is there and he's like, yo, I'll split the cash with you. If you want me to I'll threaten him and I'll tell him that we're in an open relationship and that I'm going to come get your shit and then I'll go get your shit for you so you don't have to see him again. I was like, that's perfect. So then he texts this guy and this guy's like scared shitless because Louis is a fucking monster. I don't know what he said to me. He's a fucking monster. He looks like a Puerto Rican Ninja Turtle, doesn't he? He looks like a ripped like Ninja Turtle. Even when he's fat, he looks ripped. Like he's a dangerous person. He's one of my friends, but he's also one of my weapons. He's an unsheathed sword that I have at my side. He's a loaded gun that I have at my side at all times, and I do appreciate him. Louis, you're the man. So then he texts the guy. The guy freaks out, and he ends up just putting it in a mailbox thing that I could come get, and I got it back, and that was it. And we lived through it. But that's why I don't like online dating, because you can't tell if the guy is gross. You know? I also went on a date with a guy, and I did the same thing where I was like, we're going to fuck, and then he had a lobster claw hand. And I had to go on this date with him, and his hand was, and then I fucked him too. And then he tried to comb my hair, or he tried to pull my hair, but he just combed it. And I just left the hotel room looking less fucked than when I walked into. The whole thing was a nightmare. He took me out for lobster. I would never have talked about this. When we went on the date and I saw the hand, I was like, I'm never going to talk about this. It's so rude. He's disabled. It's not his fault. But then he took me to a lobster restaurant, and I'm not lying at all. I do a bit about it on stage, but this is absolutely true. And it was just weird. Like, he chose the lobster restaurant. He didn't plan the lobster restaurant out. We were walking by and he chose it. And I was like, what are the chances? Gotta do a bit about it. Sorry, dude. Block, 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 block. Sometimes you have to choose the bit over the person's feelings. And that is hard. If you guys ever saw my camp story about my camp counselor, that was another situation where I told a guy I was going to fuck him ahead of time. Then I got there and he had gay voice and it was gross and I was embarrassed. But I banged him anyway. I told that story. And I felt bad, and he saw it and whatever, but it's like, bye, you got to move on from camp at some point. And someone's got to find entertainment out of these horrible things I did to myself when I raped myself with someone else's body. But I don't do that anymore. I love myself. I respect myself. I've made changes. Okay? I'm number one. I'm number one, okay? I'm not fucking any of these weirdos anymore. Sorry, weirdos. It's a wrap. Anyway, the thing that I realized with that one guy that I thought was the wigger is there's such a disappointment when you go on these dating sites, because you create a person in your head. So you have to deal with the fact that you have to reject a person in real life, but then you also have to mourn the death of this character you created. I had this whole guy in my head. I was so excited about him. And then I was devastated. He just didn't exist. He doesn't exist anywhere. And then you have to deal with the fact that you're a fucking loser and you created some person that doesn't exist. So anyway, R.I.P. that wigger. I mean, he really was. He was the best. My imaginary wigger boyfriend was the fucking man. All right. Next question. I have no clue what I was answering. Will you marry me? That was my answer to no, I will not marry you. The first time I did stand up, was at this place called Connie's Rick Rack in Philadelphia. And I just did, what happened was I Googled, and this actually plays into another thing. So people are asking me advice about becoming a comedian. And I just Google comedy, just Google it, figure it out, open mics, figure it out. Because asking professional comedians how to do comedy is one of the things you'll be so embarrassed about if you become a professional comedian. When I first started comedy, I had a friend who was friends with Anthony Jeselnik, and he went, oh, I'll set you guys up on like a hang and he can give you advice on stand-up. I didn't really want that. I was already doing open mics and stuff. I just quit drinking. I was really focused. I was already running a show at this restaurant that I worked at. And I was uncomfortable, but I was like, I'm just going to do this for my friend. I'll meet up with Anthony. And I didn't really know who he was. He was just starting to get successful. And I just didn't know who he was yet. So I go to the excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Are you guys getting boners? Am I a Plinko chip right now? Oh my God, so many boners. I know some of you will fucking get boners from that, you weirdos. Anyway. So I go to the Comedy Cellar to meet up with him, and it's already embarrassing. I'm an open micer. Like, I just started comedy. I'm not ready to be at the Comedy Cellar and meeting all these people. I wasn't ready to come out as what I was doing yet. I just quit drinking. It was just such a weird thing. And the girl he was dating came up and was like, hi. It was just very weird. It was a very weird situation, and I was very uncomfortable. And so he sat there and he kind of stared at me and was like, what? He's like, I'm really only came to meet with you because I'm such good friends with Joel and he wanted me to do this. And I went, yeah, that's why I'm here too. And he went, well, what do you want to know? And I go, I don't really want to know anything. And the advice he ended up giving me was to get up as much as possible. I was already getting up 5 times a night at open mics, just hustling in New York, just running around. I was trying to do at least 20 mics a week. Because what happened was I started going to open mics. There was a place called comedybureau.com and a place called Bad Slava that had all the comedy open mics. And you can just Google, I don't know what has them now, but you can just Google that and just fucking do it and stop fucking bothering other people about it. What advice do I have to give? What do you mean? Go do comedy. It's so weird. That's such a weird thing to ask someone. I had a guy stop me and I was getting food near the Comedy Store, and you can tell because there'll be one person that comes alone to the store a lot, and you see them in the audience every night, and you're going, oh, you want to do comedy. And that's fine. It's my favorite thing in the whole world. I understand wanting to do it. And that's, follow your arrow. But he stopped me at this restaurant. I'm getting a burger late night at Carney's, the train car place. And he goes, all nervous. He goes, I want to do comedy. What should I do? And I go, well, just do it. And he goes, do you think I should? I'm like, I don't know you. What are you talking about? And he's like, and I went, listen, this is like going to be, I'm going to be nice to you here, but this is going to be embarrassing for you if you do start doing comedy, that you talk to me like this. Because just do it. Why would you talk to someone that's in action about getting in action? Just get in action. Live your life. I'm not here to save you. No one's going to save you. Go do it. Do you want to do something? Do it. Do you not want to do it? Do you have an inkling that you want to do something and then you're just going to live your whole life not doing it? You're just going to not do it. You're going to just die having not done this thing. And I can tell by the guy, he's not funny. He didn't say one funny thing to me, which I kind of appreciate. If he had tried to be funny, that would have been annoying too. But it's just like, you're interrupting me when I'm about to eat my food to ask me how to do what I do. It's just do it. Just do it. And then he goes, oh, and then I'll be good. And I went, I have no clue, but are you going to die not knowing whether you're going to be good or not? You probably won't be good because you're coming up with all these excuses not to do it. And comedy is just balls. That's really all it is. It's balls and being willing to say stuff and do stuff and learn the math of comedy and work really hard. There's no like shortcut. There's nothing you can do. I went to a meeting with a guy who represents Vine stars and internet comedians, that don't do stand up. And he goes, well, what's the trick? How can I get these clients into clubs and comedy? I go, they have to do open mics. They can maybe get on a show and start a show with audiences, but they have to get good. Comedy is fair. It's fair. If you're complaining about lineups and the ratio of people on lineups, you better hope that you were so good, you auditioned for that lineup and you were so good that there is something against you. Because usually it's not that there's someone against you and saying, I don't want a girl on this lineup, or I don't want this in this lineup. They're usually looking for minorities and for that type of stuff. It's you just got to be your funniest. But a lot of times they're counting people in the lineup, or they're looking at stuff like that, and they're looking at outward sources to wonder why they're not getting what they want. When the truth is, put your head down and write jokes. Just write jokes. I've been filming my sets. I've been watching my sets like I'm a fucking football coach. I watch every play. I watch every move. I write them down. I rewrite them. I listen to my sets. It's like, it's a skill set, and it's work. It's work. You can go up there and fuck around if you want, but why do you think that you should be up there over anyone else? Just earn your place. Anyway, so I met up with Anthony Jeselnik. It was fucking weird. And the advice he gave me was to get up as much as possible and to not run a show because people will get mad at you. But I was already running a show and everyone got mad at me. But fuck them. I was funnier than them because I worked harder than them. And so the way I realized to get that work ethic was I started at open mics, and I saw the people that were the most powerful and intimidating at the open mics, and I approached them and I made them be my friends. Rather than being against them or being scared of them, I indoctrined myself into their crew. I don't know if indoctrined is the word, but who gives a shit? My college went out of business and my high school is for juvenile delinquents. I have a 7th grade education level, so you're welcome. I think I'm doing pretty good for a 7th grader, but I have fucked a lot for a 7th grader too, which is kind of gross. So anyway, so I go up to Mike Lawrence, who at that point he was the king of open mics. He was telling people to quit comedy. He was being harsh and all this stuff. And I approached him and I said, if you know everything, what do you think I should do? How many times should I get up a week? He goes, you should get up at least 15 times a week. And I went, well, how many times, or 10 times a week is what he said. And I went, how many times do you get up? And he said, I get up about 15 times a week. And I said, okay, I'll see you at 20. And then we just always went to as many mics as we could as possible. I was friends with Mike Lawrence, Mike Racine, Dan St. Germain, Brian Baldinger, who's a booker. And I can't really think of everyone else, but that was my crew. Those were the people that were working the hardest. I saw hustling the most. And I had a group of people around me at all times that I could call when I didn't want to go to an open mic, because your entire body is going to do everything it can to get you to not do the hard work. Your whole body is against you succeeding. So what I did was I made sure everyone I called would say, go to the open mic. There's no excuse. Sitting home and writing, that's bullshit. You're making excuses. Stage time is the only way to get good at comedy. And you have to work. You have to sit through the fucking mics. You have to be in pain. You have to do it. You have to hustle. There's no shortcuts. You can't get a Vine star to be good at comedy. The audience wants to laugh. They want it to be funny, and they will go for some hackery, but that's it. Also, I do think I want to hack my act up. That's a goal I have in the future. I need to have a character. I feel like everyone that's successful has a heightened character of themselves right now. Would you agree? Everyone's
100%.
like, they're themselves, but heightened. I don't know. I think maybe I should be Philly girl. Hey, what's up? You fucking losers. I don't know what I got to do. I mean, I have a sword.
You just have to find the right balance.
I got it.
Some people are an elevated version of themselves, but some people are too much, where it's like if they would just dial it down a bit, then they'd be perfect on stage.
Sebastian, just kidding. He's so funny and the best comedian right now. But yeah, there's something. I just am raw, so it's hard for me to imagine being a character. But
it'd be interesting.
I
But
don't know. But I could just heighten it up a little.
You're experimenting so much on stage that you should try it heightened and see what happens.
As long as I'm taking risks on stage, that's what I've told myself. As long as I'm taking risks on stage. I don't always bring a sword on stage. I bring a sword on stage every once in a while if the audience is dull. And it helps me keep my pacing. I just smack it on the table. It's not a real sword, by the way. So don't get excited. Put your boners away. It's plastic. All right. Some other questions. But anyway, taking risks is the only way. Because I could, listen, you can have one killer set that you just do over and over and over again. I can't live with myself that way. I can't do that. I get bored. I get mad. I get upset. I disappoint myself. So I'm always trying to kind of impress myself, make myself proud, take risks. So then I'm not afraid. You can't be afraid to bomb. You got to just go for it. Anyway, thank you, Anthony, for your advice. I know you're watching. Someone wrote, gamers. That's not a question, but no, I don't know. If you play the Grand Theft Auto and you listen to me on the radio, I think you're a cool gamer. If you do anything else, I think you're a loser. What's my all-time favorite comedy special? One that I'm really into now that I want to rewatch, I just saw it in the past 6 months, is Mike Epps' Underrated, Never Faded is so fucking funny. Have you seen it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my, with the baby arm. It is so funny. It's when Obama got elected, so it's He's so happy. It's so sad. It's sad to watch it now, but it's so funny. His act outs are so funny. That's another goal of mine. I want to do more act outs. I want to just become a more well-rounded performer instead of just going up there and reading my diary. I feel like I'm Daria on stage, a boy version of Daria. Okay. What's worse than ants in your pants? Literally die. Whoever wrote that, like, just, you wasted everyone's life. You wasted everyone's life. What's worse than ants? Anything you've ever done. I would rather have ants in my pants than ever know you. But thank you for being a fan and keep following. Keep writing in. I mean it with love, but why did you do it? You couldn't have thought of anything better than that. I believe in you. I believe you can do better. I actually want you to write a question in next time. Another question. I think you can do it. I think you can ask a good one. Think about what the people would want to hear me talk about. Get over yourself. How do you forgive your mom for fucking you up besides watching mature lesbian porn? Now, my mom looks like a mature lesbian, so I wouldn't really watch porn that looks like my mother. That's not really getting back at her. That's kind of her getting back at me. And I will tell you that my first vibrator was my mom's vibrator. I stole her back massager that she used on our back, so I didn't know it was a vibrator. I thought I was like the first one to realize you could put that on your puss. So we have kind of hooked up, my mom and I, in a weird way, is what I'm saying. Is that gross? It's disgusting. Are you judging me for it? I'm being honest. Okay? I also house sat for my friend years ago and I used her vibrator too. And then I found out she had herpes afterwards. And I was like, that is the best way to get herpes. You deserve it. I washed it and everything and I put it in a sock. It's not like I just threw it on my puss, but it's bad. But I do feel like confessing that. Is that okay? You guys are going to come here for honesty. I'm going to tell you the truth. And I want to say some of my advice I've given in the past, I was being a pussy about it. I didn't want to hurt someone's feelings, but that's not going to happen anymore. Okay? This is good content. This is the truth. How do I forgive my mom? My mom is annoying. My mom did a lot of things to fuck me up. Okay? But what I realized is my mom is just a person and I love her and I don't care. I choose my mother. I choose to have my mother in my life. Oh my God, the arm fell down. You guys, that's fucking so crazy because my mom, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. That's the second time on this podcast, not this specific one, but this Meanspiration. Oh my God. That wasn't planned, but oh my God. Okay, so this arm is beef with my mom. This is a visual aid from a fucking huge argument that I got in with my mom that was deep childhood wounds were addressed. I headlined Thanksgiving or Christmas in Philadelphia at the Punchline 2 years in a row. And the first year I was very, very, very nervous because it's my hometown. I had a lot of traumatizing things happen to me in high school. And I was scared. I don't really want anyone from my past to come back. So I was very scared that people were going to show up to my show that I didn't want there. I was very upset after the election. I was in a very fearful, I was in fear. It feels very silly now, but I had some PTSD triggers and I was a raw nerve and I was very scared. I was walking around the world terrified of running into old predators and stuff like that. So I told this to my mom and my mom said, no one bad's going to come. She goes, we'll protect you if they do. And then I show up and my mom had brought my therapist from high school who wrote a book with her about raising troubled teens and used to talk to me about dicks and stuff and bought me beer and was kind of a predator. He was someone I didn't like. He exploited me by writing this book with my mother. I think back at him and I recoil. I'm disgusted. I think he's inappropriate and he didn't have an office. He only worked with troubled boys, by the way, too, which was questionable to me. And my mom forced me to go out with him. He was talking to me about dicks and stuff. It's just inappropriate. And it was like, his whole approach was, I'll be a friend. You know, I had friends. When you're a teenager, you don't need adult friends. You need adults. I needed boundaries, and I had another boundaryless person in my life. So there was no place to sit. There was no place to go and be in an office and have the professionalism. He would take you out bowling, rock climbing, to eat at a diner, you know, like a date. He'd take young at-risk boys on a date. And let me tell you, I don't know if his boyfriend now is at risk, but he does look young. Anyway. So, so my mom, I show up to this show. I haven't seen this guy in 10 years. My mother knows I don't like him. I'm very upset that she wrote that book about me, about raising troubled teenagers. She really trashed me in it and gave this guy all this credit for the growth that I had as myself. Anyway, this is a long story. I show up to the show. My mother is sitting there with this therapist. She brought the therapist to the show. I haven't seen him in 10 years. I don't like him. He gives me a weird, creepy vibe. I don't like what he did. I didn't feel like he was appropriate. And I don't think he should have like a license and be able to do that. I don't think he does it anymore. So I think we're all good. But it just seemed questionable. He just gave me the creeps. And my mom brought him. He was one of the specific people I said I didn't want there. And she brought him. It's like delusional. So then I had this weird set. I was so upset. She betrayed me. And I ended up getting over it, forgave her. She said she would stop talking to him or something. I don't know. I don't remember what happened, but forgave her. A year passes. I go back to the same club to headline the club. I have new nerves this year. This year I'm like, I want to work on my set. I want to make sure my jokes are in the right order. I want to make sure I don't get interrupted. I want to make sure I go through my whole set and I'm working on a special and I want to get everything in line and have my set perfect. And my mom said, great, you'll do it. We believe in you. Then she shows up. It was Christmas because she shows up and heckles me in the middle of my set. And it wasn't even the middle. It was the beginning. It was I hadn't even won the audience over yet. I was so nervous from being in Philadelphia and I hadn't gotten them yet. And they didn't know me. This wasn't like a room full of people that knew me, but my mom's a narcissist. So she goes, hey, Annie. Okay, that's already bad. She goes, I got you something. And she throws a wrapped present on stage. So now I'm in a position where I don't want to be mean to my mother, which I would be mean now. If I could do it again, I would have kicked the bitch out. You done, bitch, go. But I didn't want to, I had trouble putting boundaries on my mom and I had a codependent relationship with her and was still trying to make her happy over myself. And so I ended up having to open this present. So now at this point, I'm not even looking at the audience. The audience is like, what? They're like looking at my mom. They're like, what's happening? They don't know it's my mom. They don't know me. They don't know her. So then I open it and it's this hand. And then it's like, how do I explain that my mom owns an eBay drop-off store and she has these weird things from a nursing school? It's like, I don't know why, like, it just made no sense. And then I bombed the whole show. And I was so mad at her. It was the second time she had promised me she wasn't going to do a thing and she did it. So anyway, how do I forgive my mom? I just see her as a person. She's just a person. I know what made my mom fucked up. I don't blame her for anything. And I look at my life. I'm so happy with where I'm at. I'm so happy with what I do. I have the best job in the world. I wake up, for the most part, sometimes I have sad days. I was a little rough today, but I wake up for the most part so happy. I don't know the difference between when I'm dreaming and when I'm awake. You don't understand. Like, I don't feel a difference when I'm in my house or I'm out at the comedy club or I'm in a store. I feel completely at home and completely myself on this earth. I feel the most happy and expressed that I can possibly be, and I'm a work in progress and I'm getting better. I'm doing everything I can and I'm leaning into the light and I feel good. So if that is the truth, which it is, that's my truth right now, is that I am the happiest I've ever been. I'm doing everything I want. And when I don't do what I want, I'm looking at why I'm not doing what I want and what I'm doing to sabotage what I want and why and what wounds from my childhood are making me like that. So I'm working on myself. So if that is true, how can I be mad at the things that happened to me when I was little? How can I be mad at my circumstances, my traumas, my fucking molestations, my rapes, all of that stuff? Because I can't take those out of my past and know that I still have this present. I can't. I'm happy with myself. I persevered. I got through a lot of shit. And my mom being neglectful in a lot of ways made me very strong on my own. So I can't be mad at her. And she didn't do it on purpose. She didn't do it on purpose. She did her best. Her best sucked, but what are you going to do? So I forgive her. Is she allowed at comedy shows again? Absolutely not. Do I still have the hand? I still have the hand. I look at it all the time. I love my fucking mom. She just wants attention. Can't blame her. I guess I got it from her. Anyway, that's how I forgive my mom. All right, so I guess now we will take a call, some advice. I hope that answered some of your guys' questions.
Yeah, so this episode, this one's interesting. I'll read you this email and I'll let you have some fun with it.
Okay.
Hi, Annie. My name's Mike. I live in Dallas, Texas, and need some help.
What's up, Mike?
My wife and I are in an open relationship. We've been in this lifestyle for the last few years and thoroughly enjoy watching thoroughly enjoy watching her being fucked by other men. I'm that creepy middle-aged overweight hairy dude in the corner jacking off, but it works for us. The trouble is, I would love for her to move on to black men that are hung. That would be intensely exciting to watch. She is not for that idea. How can I get her on board? I've purchased large black dildos in hopes that it would make the transition easier. Also, any idea on how to get her to peg me? Thanks in advance for the consideration.
Yeah, people are crazy. He said he's married, right?
He's married. He's in open marriage.
Can I just say, Louis jerking off in front of girls is like nothing. You guys see that, right? How that's like his fetish is such a small fetish. I understand people's feelings get hurt and stuff, but like when people are like, I can't believe he does that, it's like, you do realize that what the world is, right? Like, oh my God. That's so funny. I've had friends that really like watching their girlfriends get pegged by black guys. That's so funny. I love that. They just want to be domed. They just want to feel like shit. Everyone's such a product of their first experience, you know? Their first introduction to sex and whatever. I wonder what his was. That's so funny. He's just the fat, hairy, bald guy jerking off in the corner. He's bald and hairy?
Bald and hairy.
Wow. God really fucked you, dude. I had a boyfriend in college who he wasn't fat, but he was bald and hairy, and he used to tear his shirt up and go, God, why did you take the hair from the top of my head and put it all over my body? He was very funny. Dumped me on Christmas. So, hey, Ryan, what's up? You slit Santa's throat, remember? He's married with kids. All right, let's call this guy up. I like our call sound. Hello? Mike? Mike, I have the answers to all of your prayers. Where are you?
Hey, sorry about that. My connection's all messed up. Let me go outside.
Yeah, go outside.
Okay,
Get out of there. All right, what's up, Mike? Where do you live in Texas, you said, right?
Yeah, I live in Dallas, Texas.
Oh,
kind of like in DFW.
Okay, cool. And then, all right, so big black dick. You watch your wife fuck guys. How often does this happen? How often are you guys? How often are you watching? How often are you watching your wife fuck another dude?
So it's usually a weekly thing.
Oh my God, your marriage is fun.
Yeah, we mostly do it through an app, and the problem is she's into like the kind of like the I don't know the 20-something, 30-something, 20-something, you know, I guess, fit dude, I guess, but of the Caucasian type.
Uh-huh.
And they're all right, but I am, I mean, it's all right, but I mean, I definitely would like her to hook up with some black dudes that have like, I'm talking like 8-inch, 10-inch.
You want to see her get fucking rammed. You want to see her get blown out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And okay, wait, let's trace this back. No,
I know it sounds twisted, but it's like,
hey, no judgments. Doesn't sound twisted to me.
But
do you want her to fuck a guy with like a way bigger dick than you? You want it to not remind you of you in any way, right? Is that what it is?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I'm like 5.5 inches. Like, I'm talking like, and I've always been into that thing. I've always liked watching like black on white porn, like just watching like white girls get just destroyed by like big black dicks. That's like. And
was that something that you saw like in your childhood, or was that like the first porn you saw? Where do you think that came from?
I don't know. You know, it's crazy. I mean, I did get molested as a kid, so I mean, no shocker there. I had a.
Who wasn't? Welcome to the club, right?
Yeah, this is in Arkansas. I had some older kid take me to like this like playhouse type deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know what you call it. It's like one of those like outdoor sheds.
Mm-hmm.
And basically pulled down my pants, licked my butthole.
Oh my God. Are you into butt stuff? Oh no, you are.
Yeah, I was like, all right, whatever. And then I guess I thought that was normal.
Yeah.
And then from like my whole childhood, I've just been a whole, experimentation.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to be like, hey, let's do missionary after you got your asshole licked when you were a kid. And you're like, oh yeah, why don't you lay down there like a little pillow princess? We'll just have nice white people missionary position. I do think.
It doesn't do anything for me, but I'm glad I didn't go down the road of like, because I feel like people either go down the road of like pedophile, child molester, they do it to other people, or just down this road of like just sexual deviance.
And I think it's really healthy that you're so open about it and that you found a partner that's into experimenting with you. That's great. That's so good.
Yeah, no, that's the best thing is my wife is we both don't believe in monogamy, but we got married and we still we like the idea of marriage and like being with each other and everything, but we definitely are into the open relationship aspect of it. The only problem is at some point, because our daughter's like 9 years old and we are already making, we just tell her that's a whole nother situation.
Yeah, well,
luckily we have parents nearby where she can go stay at, and she likes to have sleepovers too, so it works out.
Yeah,
but
she doesn't need to know about.
She'll find out.
Yeah, she doesn't need to know about that stuff for a long time anyway. That's not her. She doesn't need to be. You don't need to bring her into that world. I feel like
but
yeah, as long as that boundary's up, that's good. But yeah, it just sounds good, and so you it's like a feeling of jealousy that you feel that feels good, like it kind of like, is it jealousy or like?
No, it's not like that. Honestly, I don't get jealous because I don't know. I've never had that in me.
Right.
I don't know if that's bad. But
nothing's bad.
I like
by the way, you're fine.
I like the feeling of like power, like someone having power over me, like I guess
you like to be.
What do you call it?
You're submissive.
Yeah, like that. I like that, and I also like. Every now and then, so I am bi, and
cool.
I've never done like anything like get fucked in the ass or like fuck another dude in the ass, but I've experimented with like jerking off, a little oral here and there, and I don't know, like I just I don't know, it's kind of a mixed bag for me, but I enjoy it all.
Yeah.
So,
but do you feel like you're chasing more and more, like nothing ends up being enough, or you just want to try everything and you like it all?
Oh, that's a good question. Dang, that's a good question. Honestly, it's kind of a mixed combination of the two, because I would like to go to like a swingers club. I want to do that. My wife's open to that. The only reason why we do it this way is because we do it through an app, and it's kind of controlled that way. And you meet them up, and you find out they're a psycho and they're gonna come over and kill you or whatever. But and then the whole thing about like, I don't know, but it's like the cool thing is my wife is cool with it, and she's not into black dudes at all. Like not in. That's not even a.
Well, do you think would she be okay with you fucking a black dude? Would you want that?
No, I wouldn't. But I would love to, like, go down on a black dude.
Maybe.
I would love that.
Would she be open to that? You think?
In my life. Because I do like using toys on myself. But
maybe there's a way, because if she just doesn't want to do that, I don't know how you can. Like, she's so open already, so I don't know. And she's just like, definitely no.
Oh yeah, it's definitely out there.
So you're shit out of luck. This lady's pretty down for most shit. I feel like you got to be like, thank you. Be grateful for what you got and not be focusing on the lack. You can't be focusing on the lack, bro. You got to be like writing a fucking gratitude list to this woman every day.
I know. It's it's an ideal situation.
Yeah, you guys
for
have
sure.
a really good thing. That's amazing. And then
Yeah,
what was I going to say? Oh, about the pegging. And have you asked her about pegging or no?
yeah. We just got into that. Like,
Oh, cool.
Like, I mean, I'm talking literally like the last couple of weeks, and I mean, she likes it. She enjoys it.
Oh, great.
And I like it. I mean, I but the only problem is that she's not like I know this sounds weird, but she's not like she's not the kind where she's like she just does it. But like I want like a dom type person, just be like you worthless piece of shit, like take this dick.
She loves you too much
like that.
for it to be good.
I want someone like take this dick. Your fucking dick is so small. Like I want to fucking run this. Like I want something like that where they're just gonna humiliate me. I know.
I love it. I love it. I
I
absolutely love
like
it. I absolutely love
it. I want someone to spit in my face. And
oh my God, that's so fun.
But it's crazy because if you looked at me, you would never suspect that. Like, I mean, I'm in PTA with my daughter. I'm like, we live in like a good neighborhood.
Yeah.
But but I find that more and more, especially here in Texas, like a lot of conservative, like corporate type dudes are just, they're the ones who are just out. And
they're just pretending to be racist.
Weird.
There's people just pretending to be racist so they can get black dick in their house.
Yeah.
So no one will think. Oh my God, that's so cool. I think you have a great thing going on. I think you should, if your wife's down, go to the swingers club, see what's up. You don't have to bring anyone back to your house. I mean, you can just check it out. Definitely don't bring anyone to your house. Yeah. Don't bring any weird strangers to your house. But I have like a couple friends who get prostitutes and stuff. Do you guys bring girls in too?
Every now and then, but her friends are they're not into that kind of thing.
Right.
I mean, her older friends that she used to hang out with, that was when she used to be in the whole nightclub thing, partying. Yeah, they would, but now she hangs out with more of like people that she works with. So
I wonder if you could get a dominatrix to come over and peg you in front of your wife, and then she can kind of like see.
Holy shit!
How she does it.
See that. Dude, that's a new angle. I like it the way you're
right. So then she sees how she does it, how into it you are, and then she can kind of like learn.
Yeah.
And suck a black dick, dude.
Huh?
And be like, can I suck a black dick for my birthday? Please, wifey, for my birthday, let me suck a black dick, please.
Yeah.
And then maybe she'll see you suck the black dick and be like, ooh, I want to suck that giant black dick. Because if she's never hooked up with a black guy before, it might just be a fear thing. Because she's just isn't comfortable. She's never been naked with a black guy. Or maybe she was before, and that's why. So I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know. Maybe she just hasn't been around a black dick in person or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't think it's a size thing, because she can take a pretty good size dick. But that's not the issue. She enjoys that, and she's not racist. I know that. She's pretty liberal.
Yeah.
So
she's pretty fucking liberal. I'll say so.
I don't know.
I'll say so. That fucking pussy's liberal as shit. She's open.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is impressive.
I mean,
you should be really happy, man. You like for being because I think it's like, you can be molested and your life can be ruined, or you can be molested and you can really make your life work for you. And I'm glad you said the thing about child molestation too. It's like very good. Like, it's not always like you pick a bad path or whatever,
Yeah, no, definitely. It's I don't know. It's a weird thing, because I've never even thought about that. Like, that's not part of my brain.
Yeah.
But I mean,
thank God, right?
I don't know.
Thank you, God.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm like now I'm constantly in like with my daughter. She's 9 years old, and I'm like, I trip out. Like, I see like dudes dudes my age, like look at her, and like they'll look at her and just, I'm like, what the hell? Like, I get insecure about that too. My wife's like, that's like, why should you be insecure about that? I'm like, because I just know that there's about to
there's an awareness you have. I always say, like, once you're raped or molested or something, it's like someone robs your house. Someone robbed your house, exactly. And then you realize that the walls of your house are not protecting you. Like, you just realize how thin the walls are and how little there is that's protecting you from the outside world. And so you just see it more. Like, I don't live in trauma all the time, but I'm aware. I take jiu-jitsu. Like, I'm like ready to fuck people up. But I try not to live angrily, but I'm aware. I'm hyper aware. I trust my instincts. Like, when I'm uncomfortable, I know to, you know, like I don't put myself in dangerous situations as much as I would have probably if something hadn't happened. But I always think about the situations my parents put me in, or, you know, where they weren't protecting me and stuff. They had a blind spot because they didn't have those things happen to them. You know, my mom my mom had like a very nice life. She went to a private high school, sleepaway school and stuff. So she didn't, nothing like that happened to her. And it's funny because when I got sexually assaulted by my teacher in high school, and they were grooming me, him and his wife, and they asked my mom to let me sleep over, and my mom ended up like not like encouraging it, taking me over there, brought a bed for me to have in their house and stuff, and all that were so obvious to me. But then years later, I kept being like so mad because I blamed myself for so many years, and then when I realized like the adults let me down, I got really mad at them. And then I was thinking about it, and I was like, there has to be like, what was she fucking thinking? Because she couldn't have been thinking these people are raping my daughter. Like, she couldn't have been thinking that these people are taking advantage of my kid. Because she wouldn't, you know, she had some sort of blind spot. And then recently she told me that, she was like, oh my God, there was this scandal at my high school that just came out, that there was a cool teacher that used to have all the cool girls over for dinner and stuff. And it turns out she's like, it just came out that he was molesting all of them. She was like, I was always so jealous I didn't get to go there. All the cool girls. So my mom felt left out from going to that house. So she was looking at it like she wanted me to be able to be cool, you know, like she hadn't. Like she was actually thought she was doing some sort of social solid, but she had that blind spot because she hadn't been molested. So I'm not saying it's good to be molested. I'm just saying it's like there's a hyper awareness. There's a hyper, like I just feel like kind of like I have superpowers. I don't know. Maybe that's crazy.
Yeah. No, I kind of agree with you on that and my parents are just, they're fucked up because they're still in denial about what happened with me, and they're still like it's for them like they think there's something wrong with me.
Right.
And
I know, it's so upsetting.
And even then, like in my 20s, I was a big alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
I was into the whole.
Me too, baby.
Arizona, I was big into like the whole rave scene and ecstasy and I never went down. I mean, that was my whole thing, and then from rape
to raves. From rapes to raves, the Mike story.
Yeah.
The Texas Mike story.
That's so true, though. But yeah, so
I did the same thing. It's like I think that's a common thing. It's like you want to get away from yourself, but it's a lot of self-blame and stuff. And once you realize like you were a kid and you just didn't know, I don't know. It's like I learned. I always try to tell people like the safe spaces inside yourself, like all of the stuff that's happening politically and on the internet and stuff. Everyone's trying to control everyone else and make them be safe for them, but it's like you need to learn to protect yourself because there's no guarantees, and you're going to be so unhappy because the safe space is in you, bitch. The safe space is in you. But all right, I gotta go. This was a great talk. I would talk to you for another hour if I could, but thank you so much, Mike. This was great. Thanks for being open.
I'm a huge fan of your comedy. You and Allie McCoskey are like.
Oh my God, I love her.
You guys are awesome.
Allie's my girl. She's my little son.
Yeah, you guys are.
Thanks.
Freaking hilarious.
Thank you so much. Now I would try follow up with me and let me know, but try getting a dominatrix to come in and peg you in front of your wife and see what happens.
I'm going to do that, and I will definitely shoot you an email back.
Your wife's a pegger in training. She's a pegger in training. A PIT.
All right, have a good one.
All right, sweetheart. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. That guy's got a great marriage. They have a gorgeous marriage. It's a beautiful, loving. Also, just side note, I totally forgive my parents. I feel like I'm always going on podcasts and talking about them, and your parents just do their best. They have their own circumstances, their own things happen to them in their childhood. It's all about you. It's about you and how you feel and how you interact in life and what you can do and how you can change. You cannot change the people around you. You got to be your best fucking self. All right. Should I leave now or should I read the comments corner? We've been going too long. I'm going to read the reviews of the podcast on the next episode. So please subscribe, like, review, share with your friends, watch on YouTube, comment, send me feedback. I only want this to be the best experience for all of us and for us to have the best time. So thank you very much and fuck you.